Today on Monkey Life, the woolly move continues with 11 of the highly strung primates swapping homes.
Good boy. And then that's 3 more animals moved this morning, so just 8 more left to go.
The vets are called over concerns for the health of young chimp Bart.
Everything is confirming that we're dealing with diabetes, and looks like type 1 diabetes in this case.
And ice lollies for the new squirrel monkey trio. And they've got this new treat licked. Monkey World in Dorset, buried deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescue and rehabilitate abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
You can try and get him on a branch. Hey, you, come on.
The park provides a home for more than 250 monkeys and apes from 21 different species. It's day 2 of the biggest woolly monkey move the park has ever undertaken, and the team have arrived early for what promises to be a very busy morning.
We're moving 11 monkeys today, and we want to try and do it before the public come into the park. So early start, busy day, good start. We were slightly delayed by Paolo, who was slow to move into the back bedrooms to allow us to bring his females down. Obviously, he doesn't know what's happening, but back on schedule, fingers crossed.
Yesterday, the team moved 3 of the monkeys, with big and boisterous adult male Paolo meeting his new younger housemate, Enzo. Luckily, the 3 being moved this morning have walked straight into their travel boxes, and now they're off across the park to their new home.
Good girl. You're very calm, Bakaya. Good girl. Oh, super.
Pakaya, with little Claude on her back, heads straight in. But daughter Oriana isn't so sure.
Bakaya's come down, gone in the house really well. Oriana's come out of her crate, but at the moment she's just still in the tunnel system. Obviously, it's a new house. She doesn't really know where she's going. I think she can hear Mum calling her, but she's just not 100% sure how to get to her. So I'm kind of hoping Bakaya might come back out and collect her and calm her down a little bit, but just waiting for her to solve it herself.
With Pakaya's encouragement, Oriana finally enters the bedroom. To try and keep stress to a minimum, the 2 males, Paolo and Enzo, are in separate rooms, which means Pakaya and her youngsters can explore the new surroundings and settle in.
That's 3 more animals moved this morning, so just 8 more left to go.
Training the animals to walk into the crates as part of their daily routine has paid off, speeding up the team's work.
So that's Chippy in the crate. So that's the first one down from this house.
It's not just the established members of the park's woolly community the team have to think about. For the last 5 months, they've been hand-rearing baby Cosmo, who was rejected by his mum, Isla. He's now ready to join a family of his own.
Cosmo's just fantastic, and he's really ready to graduate. In fact, I'm somewhat disappointed that we haven't sort of moved ahead and that he isn't just staying overnight in the woolly monkey house full-time now. Because we're shifting woolly monkeys around, we've sort of delayed the ultimate and final step of leaving him in there for the night. But he spends during the day, he's down there usually all day long, mixing and matching with the other woolly monkeys. We're hopeful that the 3 new boys that are going into the house, he's gonna love as much, perhaps even more. He's emotionally happy in the house, he's feeding himself, and he's safe at climbing. So now it's just making sure that all of the primate care staff, especially those who have been helping hand rear him, are ready. And at this stage, what he needs more than anything is for people to back away so that he can get on with his life as a woolly monkey. Don't you think? Yes. So, yeah, all good to go.
The team seem to be on track with the woolly move. So far, Paolo's group is complete, and they've just moved Chippy's family of 5 to their new home at the barn woolly enclosure. There they'll get to meet a new housemate, adult female Quapper.
Just 3 more to go now, so fingers crossed it stays as smooth as it is.
The final 3 to be moved are Levar, Bueno Jr. and Manny.
Good boy, come on then. Good boy. Come on.
Elderly Levar is returning to where he spent most of his time at the park, the top woolly enclosure.
Yeah, we've obviously got Levar and Breno Jr. and some of the other animals that are returning to houses that they've lived before, so I'm sure there's a certain level of familiarity there, and that will help them in terms of settling in. So yeah, there's some new experiences and some return visits for some individuals.
The move has gone like clockwork, but now the hard work will start as the groups settle in and introductions to new housemates begin. Busy but exciting times are ahead for all concerned. While the woolies have been moved around courtesy of their care team, staff at the orangutans are trying to get Tuan's group to move themselves a bit more. It's often a challenge to get captive orangutans off the ground, but food can be the answer, and today James is putting out whole watermelons. This special treat should encourage them to move as they might in the wild, and also keep them hydrated.
Melon madness, lots of watermelons, and it's quite a hot day. Well, start of a very hot day, so it should keep them nice and refreshed throughout the day. And obviously they get to climb about on all the enclosure as well, to lose a bit of the calories in the process.
In the wild, orangutans spend most of their time high up in the trees, and fresh fruit forms a large proportion of their diet. The group do get watermelon occasionally, but very rarely whole.
Well, fruit in the wild, it would usually make up around 40–45% of their diet, depending on what part of the season. If there's a big glutton of fruit around, they will go for the fruit if it's there, but during those times where it's a bit scarcer around the forest, particularly over in Borneo compared to Sumatra with the volcanic soil they have, food sources there are a lot more sporadical and spread out. So those harder times of year, they'll resort to more things like plant matter, bark and insects, things like that go into the diet a little bit as well. This is a bit of a treat today. They wouldn't usually get this amount of fruit, but as I say, it's a very, very hot day coming up today, so they'll probably need a bit of extra energy to get through it, and obviously all that water in the watermelons will keep them nice and refreshed.
The group are straight out, led by Tuan. He's immediately spotted there's something different in his enclosure. But he's not going to overexert himself just yet, and grabs one of the low-hanging watermelons. 5-year-old Awan is also weighing up her options and eating the scraps that have fallen to the floor. It's clever Ame who shows the way, heading up the cargo net to grab a hanging melon, which she easily breaks in two. Lucky is making sure she eats every last bit of the juicy flesh. It's hot work out there, but the watermelons are a great way to quench your thirst. Tuan's finished his first melon and is on the move. He's finally realised this juicy treat is worth working for, and shows off just how agile a fully grown male can be when there's a reward on offer. Awan watches and learns from below. Tuan is the park's oldest male orangutan. He's estimated to be about 34 years of age. It's important he keeps active and healthy because in recent years he's occasionally suffered with breathing difficulties.
He has lost a little bit of weight over the last year, so he's doing quite well, but he's a little bit lazy sometimes, and he's getting on a little bit now, so it'll be really good for his breathing and things as well to use that energy up.
Watching Tuan has inspired Awan, who heads up high on the hunt for a melon, carefully watched by Ame. She finds one hanging beneath the platform and after taking a moment to figure it out, manages to grab it successfully. Orangutans are great problem solvers, and since joining the group just over a year ago, Awan has grown in confidence.
Awan's doing really, really well. She's been so well looked after since the passing of Xiao Kuai, and Lucky's really stepped in to sort of look after her very well. And even our May have good play sessions, but most of all, the biggest surprise is Twan. She has absolutely amazing play sessions with Twan, up on his belly, upside down and everything, and it's really, really lovely to watch that.
Having a youngster in the mix seems to have rejuvenated this group, and Awan is making the most of being the centre of attention. There are 55 chimpanzees at the park, split into 4 groups, and all needing the constant care and attention of the dedicated team that look after them. For the past few weeks, staff have become concerned about one of the younger chimps, 10-year-old Bart. He's lost a lot of weight recently, but in the last 48 hours, his condition has taken a dramatic turn for the worse. He's become very lethargic and looks quite emaciated. Vets John Lewis and Dave Harding have been called in as an emergency, and the team have managed to get Bart sedated in one of the bedrooms at the chimp house. His stomach has been shaved so that they can scan him. After a thorough examination, the vet's conclusion isn't good.
Well, the blood results have come back and they show that we've got high blood glucose levels and we've also got high fructosamine levels, and that tells us that we've got a long-standing high blood glucose. So really everything is confirming that we're dealing with diabetes and looks like type 1 diabetes in this case.
This is a hugely worrying situation for Bart and the team. Last year, Bart lost his father, the group's leader, when Paddy passed away. The news that his son has diabetes is a blow, but one that hopefully, now it's been diagnosed, can be managed by the team.
What we're going to try and do is to use as long-acting as insulin as possible, so that we only have to give it once a day. And also we need some way that we can try and monitor the response to insulin. So what we're going to initially try and do is to give, to just monitor the urine glucose and just see that we're getting roughly right. But in that time, we're going to try and see if we can train Bart to be able to a little pinprick to get blood glucose, and that's going to enable us to be able to monitor it much more closely going forward in the future.
Bart needs to be kept inside and separated from the majority of the group, while his condition is stabilised. It's important his diet is closely controlled, but he can see and touch the others next door and does have a couple of pals to keep him company. Today, it's the turn of Pepper and Grisby.
Hi!
Throughout the day, the team are doing clicker training sessions with Bart, who needs to learn a whole new set of behaviours which may have to be continued for the rest of his life.
Good boy. Hand up here.
Diabetes in humans, if not controlled and managed properly, can be life-threatening. Replicating those controls with a chimpanzee, plus all the accompanying tests and medication, is going to be a huge challenge for the primate care team who look after him.
Right, let me chest. Ultimately, we want to put Bart back with the group. We obviously don't want him living in a bedroom with one other chimp for the rest of his life. That's not what Monkey World's about, and that's certainly what we don't want for him. So we need to put him back with the group, but we also need to be able to control his condition. So if he's in the middle of the enclosure and we need him to come in, he needs to take his insulin regularly, and we need to know how much his blood sugar is. So we need to do regular checks of that. So that can involve the finger pricks to measure how much glucose in the blood. We also need to test his urine. So we've actually got him to pee on command now at a certain time, and certain aspects of his life now are going to be routine. Without him cooperating with us, we might lose him. So in order to keep track of everything and to make sure that we can give him the insulin he needs to keep him healthy, we do need him to cooperate with us, don't we? Lucky enough, he's a very bright chimp, and he's picked up the behaviours that we taught him really, really well. Haven't you?
Once his glucose levels are under control and the team are sure he'll respond to their commands when treatment or tests are needed, Bart will be able to rejoin the rest of the group, although he'll need his diet monitored. No one is sure how long it's going to take or if he will fully cooperate. Another primate feeling a little under the weather is recent arrival Mimi. So vet John has gone to the orangutan nursery to take a look. For the last few days, the usually feisty youngster has been suffering from diarrhea. Orangutan care team member Jano has been keeping a very close eye on her.
She's eating a lot of solids now.
Eating lots of solid, active, climbing around.
And she doesn't show you any signs of discomfort or pain.
Didn't show me any sign of discomfort. No. It's in fact, in this last 5 days, he's been putting blanket in his mouth. I wondered if she's teething, something like that.
Most likely.
Yeah.
And she gets how much milk in a day?
Milk on the morning and in the evening, which is 480 ml.
Is there any way of getting her off milk?
Any way getting off milk? Yeah.
I think the first thing you do is go to half strength and you gradually try without milk.
Try without milk.
Yes. And we'll see if that has any impact on her at all.
As a precautionary measure, John is going to worm Mimi until the laboratory results of her fecal samples come back.
Okay. 72 hours. Okay.
She doesn't look exceedingly ill, but, you know, looks can be deceptive. So just in case, I'd like her to have the Ivermectin, which should cover that, but I'd like to try getting her off the milk.
Mimi is bright and alert today, so John isn't overly concerned just yet.
Orangutans can be deceptive, but we're just going to try and play with the diet slightly to see if that makes an impact before we start launching into more invasive investigations.
John has given the team the all-clear to continue Mimi's introduction to life with the nursery group. And today, she's going to have another session outside with Roro. But this time, they're going to be joined by the slightly older youngsters, Bulu Mata and Rika. This double act are extremely close and love spending time together. But they're also becoming more and more independent, especially Bulu, who's starting to hang out with the big boys, Jin and Sylvester.
Mimi have really good relationship with Rika, not so much to Bulu, because Bulu, as a boy, he can be a bit hooligans. But Mimi is getting stronger and stronger every time Bulu playing a bit rough to her. She knows how to fight back as well, so which is great.
It's all harmless play fun for the youngsters, and great to see how quickly Mimi has been accepted by everyone. For her, it's one big happy family. More new arrivals at the park are about to be given a summer treat. Squirrel monkeys Lopez, Logan and Lucille were recently rescued from a house in Somerset. They were found in extremely squalid conditions. Thankfully, their new home is a world away from their old life. And today they're getting frozen ice lollies, with a difference.
So they're crammed full of really tasty treats, seeds, nuts, pieces of fruit, mealworms as well, all things these guys are really excited about. And one thing we've learned about these guys is they will eat anything, so any opportunity to get food, and they should be really enthusiastic about it. But I don't think they've ever had iced treats before, so the cold, it'll be interesting to see what they make of them.
The primate care team are putting the treats all over the enclosure in hard-to-reach places to test their agility, coordination and tenacity.
It's great because it gets them to do sort of a natural kind of foraging behaviours that they'd be doing up in the treetops in the wild. It also works their muscles, gives them a bit of a workout, and it keeps things interesting for them. So it's important to exercise their brains as well as everything else.
Young male Lopez is the most active in the group, and predictably, he's straight in there to check out the ices. But he's a bit perplexed by the challenge. But not Logan. As the leader and biggest of the group, he's not fazed at all by these strange new treats and moves straight in to tackle the ice. Older lady Lucille bides her time, and when she thinks the others are occupied, makes her move. Then quickly disappears again when Logan reappears. Lopez, still not sure what to do, has resorted to licking the drips as the ice treat melts. It's amazing to see the change in these 3 squirrel monkeys in the 3 months they've been at the park.
These guys are doing really, really well. The kind of longer that they've been with us, the more they've settled in and the more sort of personalities seem to emerge. They're really active, they're really engaged with anything new that we put in the enclosure, particularly Lopez, the younger boy. He just sort of throws himself headfirst into anything new and exciting. And yeah, it's really great to see them kind of develop in confidence and seem so settled here. It's what makes the job, you know, extra great. You kind of have these animals come in and your heart breaks a little bit for them, but then you see how much they improve and how happy they become. It makes everything worthwhile.
Next time on Monkey Life, Alison responds to an emergency call from police to rescue a neglected marmoset, bringing the youngster back to the park.
Hi, little girl. Everything looks juvenile to me.
And pumpkins in the mist for the chimps.